Easiest way to get engagement on Twitter is to just simply tweet out Miles Morales is Miles Morales. Stuttering Craig has been experimenting with this. Of course, if you don't know who that is the host of the Side Scrollers podcast. Great show. He is watching everything that was going on and decided to jump in on it and said, "You were right. This does work." And it does very well. In fact, it trends all the time now, which makes me wonder if there's studio bots that actually seek this out. Because if you tweet this, you will get interaction for sure. People will run in and just start debating people in your tweets and calling you, of course, racist. That's always the biggest one for your opinion on a cartoon comic book character. You get labeled a racist just for having opinions on Spider-Man. That's right. You're the worst person in the world because you have opinions on Miles Morales. This has been going on for a while. I like to do it on Twitter here and there just to rile people up because I think it's amusing because people get very, 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 very upset about it. This is why I think some of them are bots because it's like, are you constantly searching for this on Twitter? It's amazing to see. Nerdrotic, got to give him credit. He was the first one to do it. I guess this was the first time back in 2021. Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. The reason that I've found this post is because this article pulled it up and put it in the links. Why are some Spider-Man fans saying Miles Morales is Miles Morales? Because it's funny. It's funny. And some people just don't like him. There's some criticisms for Miles Morales that I think are pretty appropriate. One, he doesn't have his own rogues gallery. He's not really his own character. He relies on the history and all of the things that Peter Parker Spider-Man have built. But nobody is saying he's not a Spider-Man. He for sure is a Spider-Man, but when you talk about Spider-Man, everyone just assumes Peter Parker because Peter Parker is Spider-Man. He's the guy who built that character. So naturally, you have to put Miles Morales in there if you want to differentiate between the two of them. You don't have to do that with Peter Parker, which is kind of the thing that people are saying there. I don't have really much to say about Miles Morales other than I wish he could have his own villains and kind of become his own man, which he used to do when he was the Ultimate Spider-Man. When he was the Ultimate Spider-Man, he was the only Spider-Man in that universe because Peter Parker was dead, and then they brought him back. He came back like at the end, which was the stupidest plot point in that book because shortly after he came back to life, they killed off the Ultimate Universe, and then they moved Miles to the 616, where he's kind of just been in Peter Parker's shadow ever since. He should have stayed in the Ultimate Universe, and they should have kept doing things with him there because most of the superheroes were dead over there. So he kind of could have been the top guy, and they abandoned all of that so that they can move him into the 616, which is the main universe, in case you don't know. But, you know, some people have some criticisms of him. Some people don't. I really don't see the problem. They're going to do what they want to do with him. They've already decided that the next Spider-Man game is going to star him. I would be willing to bet the next Spider-Man game is a big kind of DLC packaged into a game like they did with the first Miles Morales game, and then Spider-Man 3 is going to be both of them again because they're obviously setting up Green Goblin. So Green Goblin's going to show up in the third one, and it'll probably be both of them again. I feel like they're just doing this to kind of get reactions, which they're getting for sure. I mean, I've made a video on it talking about that. I believe I talked about it in a video, but we'll see how it sells. That's what I think about it. I think Miles Morales does okay. Those Spider-Verse movies were pretty good. I enjoyed both of them. In the comics, I liked his Ultimate run. I didn't really care for his moving into the 616, but it is what it is. But of course, Nerdrotic likes to poke fun at people, and make that Miles Morales is Miles Morales tweet. And the media doesn't like that. This is the first time I've seen them actually write an article on this. And they pretty much flat out call him racist in this article. Same with Melanie Mack. They got Melanie Mack in here too. And Lauren Chen. I think I'm saying the right, Lauren Chen, right? She says Peter Parker is Spider-Man, Miles Morales is Miles Morales. She's doing that, obviously, to troll. I mean, that's what this is at this point. It's a troll. Because, like I said, anytime you do it, people go insane. Where's Gary's comment here? Here he is. Okay, so Nerdrotic, whose real name? Like, why are we putting Gary's first and last name on this? Now, there is a reason they do that, and the reason that they do that is so that when you search Nerdrotic or his name, they'll both pop up together. But if you were just searching his name, guess what? This Nerdrotic article where they call him a racist for saying Miles Morales is Miles Morales will pop right up there with it. That's the point of that, by the way, in case you didn't know that, is to try to destroy his identity on the internet and his real identity offline. So they actually reached out to him, I'm surprised, and asked him. When reached for a comment, he told The No by Yahoo, "It would be difficult for me to expand on statements of fact. Peter Parker is Spider-Man and Miles Morales is Miles Morales. Whatever's projected onto my tweets after that is entirely up to the internet." And then they got a comment from Melanie Mack. I'm actually surprised they reached out to him because usually these people never reach out. In the nerd culture space especially, we are constantly seeing legacy characters who many of us grew up with and love either completely rebooted and transformed beyond recognition or sidelined in their own franchises, Mac told In the Know. In this case with Miles Morales, I personally have found the character to be fun and likable, but he very much is different and therefore should have his own identity. I actually kind of agree with that. If you're going to have both of them running around, I personally think it's stupid to call them both Spider-Man when they share a universe. If you want to retire Spider-Man, and I'm not even opposed to retiring Peter Parker, because if you've read his comic books, they do nothing but shit on him, and like Mary Jane recently cucked him with some dude. Like, I'd rather just the character be retired than completely shit on all the time. With their little fan fiction stories that they do over in the comics. So just retire him, let him marry Mary Jane and have a baby and give him a happy ending. I'd be fine with that. But instead, they want to have their cake and eat it too. And it does lead to some confusion. And by the way, Marvel does this to themselves when on all of the toys and there's even some omnibuses and graphic novels where they do this, where they'll just put Miles Morales. They don't even put Spider-Man. Literally, into the Spider-Verse toys, where it just says Miles Morales. It doesn't even say Spider-Man on the toy. But guess what Peter B. Parker's action figure says? It says Spider-Man. They do this to themselves. They really, really do. They don't put Peter Parker on it. They put Spider-Man. And that's also part of the joke, is they literally call him Miles Morales. So I'm just saying. Anyway, I thought this was interesting. Once again, attacking people for just having an opinion and doing a little trolling. I'm also a little mad that I wasn't mentioned in this article, because I have tweets that I've done it. Like, why, they could have put me in here. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all this. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Check out my Rumble and Locals, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my Locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my Locals.